from Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Lake Worth, Texas.
Good.
Welcome into a Wednesday edition of the Grandpa-N-Pappy Show. And as usual, we welcome you in and thank you for joining us today.
Yeah,
now,
welcome aboard, everybody.
there is some background noise, as you can hear, as we have some construction going on at 1 Biloxi Square.
Yeah.
So we hope that doesn't bother you too much. But
Improvement on your listening experience.
yeah, and what's the old saying? You can't impede progress.
No matter how hard you try.
Now, I noticed you offered him a couple of quarters to shut all that down while we did this, but they didn't understand what you were saying.
Well, poor bitch just don't go too far anymore. So.
It really doesn't, does it?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we have a good program today.
We do, yeah.
And as usual, you guys stepped up with some pretty good comments.
Yeah.
What curriculum should be taught at schools today? Now, that got a lot of people to thinking, because once we start reading these, Pappy, you can see an underlying theme to what a lot of our viewers are thinking about today, about common sense stuff. Those are two words we use quite a lot here, that are not being taught to our children. And that is such a shame. They come out of high school, going into college with no life skills at all.
You're right. Well, it's a completely different world today. I mean, it all starts at home. That's been my conviction. It's got to start at home. You got to brainwash them in the proper manner. Get them ready for school. You know?
Yeah, and wear their little ass out if they don't. That's right.
Dance that circle of death.
Man, I had a nice callus on my butt for years.
I've still got them on my butt.
But anyway, you guys stepped up to the plate as usual.
Oh, yeah.
Got a lot of comments on, and this is what some of the things that you guys talked about. So we're just going to jump right in and let everybody share what your feelings are, because that's what the program's all about.
Head first.
Sandy Layla Armistead said to teach the basics, algebra, etc., should be an elective for those needing it. Also, teach life skills.
You know, algebra was an elective when I was going to school.
It was for me too, yeah.
Stephen W. Crenshaw up in Hawaii says to teach reading, writing, math, and history. It worked for us.
Yeah, it really did. Those 3 R's everybody talks about, reading, writing, and arithmetic.
How many kids do you know that knows how to read cursive writing anymore?
How many kids you know how to write cursive? That's what I'm asking. Yeah. Eddie Dixon said to teach all history, including native Indians.
Yep.
Don't ever forget their history, since it has been erased and children just don't know. Or, better yet, what about wood shop or mechanic shop? Remember those days?
Very well.
Very well.
I took both.
Absolutely, I did too. And we had vocational ag too.
Well, it was, what was it called? Distributive education in high school.
Yeah. And being a part of the future farmers of America. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go to school half day and work half day.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true.
make me a little jingle in the pocket. And Tiffany Chestnut agreed with Eddie, saying no one is taught facts anymore. It's all one-sided and bits and pieces as far as history goes.
True that.
Trade schools definitely need to be reinstated into schools.
That's basically what you just said.
Tiff,
yeah. Bobby Townsend said kids today can't do simple things like change a flat tire or keep up with their bank account.
Yep.
We used to learn all that stuff in shop, and we could build things and learn useful stuff to use as adults.
Yep.
It has gotten so washed down these days that kids have no clue what to do when they get out on their own.
That's a fact.
And I think that's one of the reasons kids live with mommy and daddy for so long these days. They're afraid. They just don't know what to do.
Well, they weren't taught.
No, they weren't taught.
You have to be taught. And Cassie Terry said, oh, so much. Reading, writing, math, history, science, cooking, gardening, cleaning, credit, health, money management. That's a good one.
Yes, sir.
Self-care. That's another good one. In health, sports, and volunteering.
Mm-hmm.
Well said, Cass.
Well, we've got our mascot with us today.
Yep.
Stephen James said you have to start young. Creation instead of evolution for starters. Morals, manners, truth, love, family, and responsibility too.
Yeah.
Then the world stuff like math and life skills. Of course, God, prayer, and the Bible in all of it. Okay? All right, Steve.
Sounds good, Steve.
Yeah.
Jennifer Hoopengarner Thomas said morals, manners, and etiquette for starters. Some things that today's generation is gravely lacking.
Bingo.
And the Bible. Then the rest should be easy to teach.
Mm-hmm. It sure should. Very well spoken there, Jennifer.
Yes, indeed.
Tina Rakes put it simply. History and anti-racism.
Yeah, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. Susan Saunders said the complete history, not what they have cut out of it.
And that's an important one.
You know, and we've talked about this before. I remember 4th or 5th grade is when they started editing history books about Indian history. I mean, and all of that custard stuff. You know, just like Eddie said. I mean, and that's where it all began. You know, people talking about rights of or payback for descendants. What about the American Indian?
Yeah,
they're the ones
reparations
that really got screwed. Yeah.
Yes, they did. Mm-hmm. And I think both of us have a little Native American blood in us. I know I do.
Yeah, myself.
Well, there you go, Eddie. I support you 100% on that one.
Yep.
Billy J. Thomas said, teach them the Federalist Papers and the Constitution. That's a good one. Yeah. I like that one.
Well, the Constitution is being kicked around like a damn soccer ball today, though. It's
ain't it, though?
Pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
My number one son, Jason Terry, says, teach them how to cook, clean, build stuff, change the tire, mow the yard, be respectful, read, write, and learn math.
That puts it right in a nutshell, right there.
Yeah.
Good job, Jason.
Yeah.
Shirley Mills said they do that. In schools here. It's called life skills. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, they only offer it for children like 4 of my grandchildren that are mentally disabled. Mm-hmm. Maybe if they taught it to normal kids, they would learn how to take care of themselves. I'm for it.
Well said, guys. Well said. Cindy Gale Northcutt Roberts Thomas says manners to start with. Goodness, this me generation is awful. And I agree with that.
Way to go, Cindy Gale.
Yeah, well said. Thanks for sending that in, by the way.
Love that.
Yep.
Paul Winslow said some of us older viewers can remember taking shop, vocational ag, homemaking, and things like that where we were prepared when we got out of school. We were also taught a good work ethic, something today's kids do not have, are not promised for, or just simply don't care about today. Of course, in our time, we were held accountable by our parents, and we learned a lot of things from them. Just what you were saying a while ago, JT.
Yeah.
That right there is a problem in many homes today. The parents don't take time to be parents in many cases. God help us.
Yeah, that's well said, Paul. It really is. I mean, and I'm sure
well,
you
it
learned
echoes
a lot
exactly
from your
what you
dad.
just said, Pappy. It really does.
My dad, I mean, they instilled common sense in their kids back when we were growing up.
That's correct.
You know, things like don't do that or make your butt hurt. Oh, okay.
Hey, before we go on any further, I want to say happy birthday to a couple of people. Sean Rigg, our good friend from American Steel Motorcycle Club.
Brother Sean, happy birthday to you.
And
bro.
Anna Clark is celebrating a birthday today.
That's bad. Are they still up in Mexico?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Tim tore his ACL
Yeah, he did.
Uh-oh, I didn't know that.
while they were there.
Stepping down into the pool.
The hubby tore his ACL.
I'm sure there's another side to that story.
I
Daiquiris he had.
Anna probably got PO'd at him and put a spinning toe hold on him or something.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you a little story about Special K, and but I won't. All right, where are we at here?
Melody Marlowe says things like tire and oil changing, banking info, retirement plans, cooking, or baby needs. Some kids do not have the luxury of learning these things at home. They need real life skills.
And here again,
absolutely right,
is exactly what a lot of people have been saying so far. They have no life skills, no basics.
Well, they're not taught.
How many times growing up did you park your car out under a shade tree, changed your own oil, the points and the plugs, especially having to set the points just right? I did that many times. Now I understand today because they've gotten so computerized. I open up a hood of a car today and I just shake my head and say, I don't know where to start.
Look at it like a billy goat staring at a pocket watch, man.
Ain't it so? Michaela Brigoli said to teach them how to do things they are actually going to need in life.
Yep. Short and sweet, well said. Kathy Koonsman says compassion, empathy, and respect for elders.
Bingo.
Not all kids get this at home. So, and that's absolutely true.
That's true. Charlie George believes they should be taught discipline, respect, love for all and their country, morals, and manners.
Yeah.
Most should be learned at home, but obviously that is lacking.
Yeah.
These teachings are gently added onto the core curriculum of reading, writing, and arithmetic, and real history.
And you know, Charlie, I mean, with morals, discipline, respect, everything else fall into place. I mean, if you're taught respect and morals and ethics, you're going to pay attention to your teacher.
That's common sense right there.
Yeah.
That's just a common sense statement right there.
What you got?
Wait a minute. Hold on. The Special K has got something to say. What you got?
Well, the problem with the curriculum these days is that the teachers are forced to teach to test.
Yeah.
And so they're only teaching so that they will pass the test, so they'll get more federal money, I assume is what the goal is. So that's what they're teaching, is they're teaching to test. They
Good
can't
point.
really be, what's the word?
Creative. Yeah. I know we have
life skills.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We have two of our children who are teachers, and they say basically the same thing. They have to prepare these kids to pass this test.
You know, and the one thing, and we've discussed this before as well, the one thing that I can't wrap my head around, I mean, my boys all did fairly good in school. Now, Jordan, my middle son, who you know, struggled all the way through school. He tested 93 percentile, in the top 93 percentile in the second grade for IQ level, then gets diagnosed for ADHD, and had him on Ritalin from the second grade to the 9th grade.
Good Lord.
I mean, and you know, Jordan's not hurting.
No.
He's doing pretty good in life right now.
Yeah, and also you told me that when he got into the 9th grade, he just told his mom, I'm not taking this anymore.
Yeah. Well,
I'm done.
I might have had something to do with it. But he was big, and he stood up for his rights. And he goes, I mean, and when you're ADHD and you're diagnosed as such within the school system, you automatically go on MHMR, mental health system.
Jeez.
Which they put you on a learning curve and all this horse crap. Well, he lost that when he
Excuse me.
When he dropped out of all that mess. He lost all that, and he struggled his butt off just to get out of high school. 3 months of technical skills or technical trade school, and he's
earning more than me and you put together.
No lie. He's done quite. I mean, he's worked his butt off for it, but he's earned it.
Yeah.
But who out there, unless you've got a silver spoon sticking out of your mouth from mom and daddy, who out there has earned a lot of money without working their ass off?
That's true.
Never came free to me. So.
That's where the work ethic comes in.
But I'm very proud of Jordan.
I know you are.
The boy's done well. So. Where are we here? Jerry Williamson said, how about math, science, and programming as a start? Take the LA school district, for example. Only 13% of the student population passed the basic skills test in math.
Wow.
That's 13%. That's a lot of kids. And I'm not talking about algebra or trig, just related math. That's pathetic. Also throw in a course on the Constitution. I believe it's what we were raised on.
Yeah, it was. It surely was. Well, Charlie George came back to answer Jerry's statement by saying if they will teach the old math multiplication, this new crap they teach, putting numbers in a box, multiplying, and then adding, is a farce.
It is.
Math was my favorite subject. I tested out of 2 college classes, but couldn't tutor this because of the total confusion. And for heaven's sakes, can we teach some grammar, especially for newscasters and public speakers?
Now I hear crickets.
Yeah.
I hope that wasn't directed to my West Texas ass, Charlie. Because it ain't going to happen, you know what I mean?
Ain't it so?
Shoshana Henderson said, teach the truth, not the teacher's bias, but
Bingo.
real math that is used every day. Teach how to balance a checkbook, home ec, and bring back auto shop and metal shop.
Yep.
There it is again. Teach kids it is good to work with your hands. Also teach cursive and spelling. Not by multiple choice either.
I like that. I like that.
I could whiz through the multiple
Shoshana,
choice.
that was a good one. I like that one.
Very well said. Thanks for sending that in.
Cheryl Caswell Richards said compassion, and Janice Parker said history.
Yeah.
Well, those are 2 good ones to teach.
And
They really
Jordan Dish says life skills. Teach them about mortgages, credit, interest rates, how twisted the mainstream media is, getting loans, buying a home or renting apartments, and basic auto maintenance. Definitely focus more on science and math. Gardening and how to grow your own food will be a great one as well. There's going to come a time when people wish they knew how to plant a garden.
You know, some of these schools are insisting on teaching Muslim religion.
Boy.
And, I mean, I've seen some things that maybe they just finished that construction up there. I hope so. But anyway, to make a long story short, some of the things, letters and things like this that the kids bring home to their parents, these parents are getting fed up with it. I mean, come on, folks. Know what we're teaching. Know what your children are being taught.
Right.
You don't know. You're not up in the classroom while they're there, so you have no clue, especially these college professors. Pappy.
Well, it's just like it was said, I don't recall who said it, teach them the truth instead of teacher's bias. I mean, how many biased teachers did you have? Did you run across? You know, well, this is the way.
Not many, if any.
This is the way I want to see it done.
Yeah.
You know, I never did like that.
Yeah.
I always stayed in trouble in those classes. So.
Yeah. Doug Gressett said, in addition to the 3 R's of reading, writing, and arithmetic, I added 3 R's that I taught my sons to live by. It was always my hope that they would guide their life actions by the principles of reasonable, responsible, and respectful.
Yeah.
Like that. Both boys are Eagle Scouts and are happy and loving fathers to my 5 grandkids. I hope those 5 can be brought up with those same values. And trust me, talking or listening to what Pappy said just a while ago, if you have taught your kids this, your grandkids will be taught it also.
Well,
Trust me.
And there's a reason that your boys grew up to be the way they are. It's because they were raised what a lot of people claim to be proper or right.
Yeah.
So
Doug's a great guy, man. I'm telling you.
well, and there's no doubt in my mind that
Old West Texas boy.
by God, a fellow Flatlander.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, if you teach your children well, they'll teach theirs well.
They started it again up there.
Yep.
I hope your children are born naked.
All of them.
Okay.
And
Sorry.
curly-headed.
Yeah, and curly.
Darla Walker said true history, real math, government, cursive writing, reading proficiency, and the Constitution.
All well said.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Darla, you couldn't have hit it any more on the head than you just did.
Yeah.
Let's see. Brian Steiner said, teach how not to be a snowflake. Wait a minute. Let me start that over. That's too good. Brian Steiner said, teach how not to be a snowflake. If you want something, earn it. The world owes you nothing.
Absolutely. And I agree.
Brian, here's to you, brother.
That's right. Judge Chris Wood up in Tennessee says, the truth 101. Try teaching that.
Dadgum, I love that.
World don't owe you jack squat.
Don't owe me nothing. That's it. Brandon Cummings said how to be a good parent, because we have obviously lost that in this country. Also, I vote for other skills and trades along with standard math, science, and reading.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
It is indeed. Yeah. And Eddie Dixon said to teach all history, including who the true Americans are before 1491. Good parenting don't come from school, it starts at home. I like that. If you have bad parents, you have bad kids. Put the Bible back in schools like the schools used before 1963. Good point.
Eddie just hits it right on the nose every time, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's the thinker.
You know, I can remember way back in Raines High School back in the 60s when I was in high school. They actually had a kitchen in the high school to teach the ladies how to cook, how to sew.
My sister took those
things
classes.
Like that. Yeah. And the only kitchen you see is in the teacher's lounge now.
Yeah,
you know, so
in your granddaughter's toy box, you know, and it's a toy to them anymore.
But stop and think about that. The world would be so much better off if we had those basic things in our schools again.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Mary Sue Taylor said she would put more emphasis on reading assignments in school, not on a computer, but in a real book. Children of today are not required to read some of the literary great books like we were required to do. If they did, I truly believe their attitudes would be completely different today. It is sad that reading has kind of gone by the wayside.
Oh, yeah.
And you know something? What's her name? Mary Sue? You are absolutely right, because now if you can't pull up a computer, I don't think anybody goes to the library anymore.
Oh,
I really don't. I mean, I used to go to the library. Even when I first got married, I'd go to the library and check out books because I love to read.
We'd go once a week. You know, and reading never was, I mean, I can read okay, but it never was something I was really interested. I mean, and I think that being my hard-headed self is probably why I struggled in history and English and literature, you know, because I wasn't interested in that. Now, if you throw something in front of me that I'm interested in, I'll sit there and read it all day. You know,
I still have my own library in there, except you have to flush it every once in a while. But growing up, I had no place. No, this is serious. I'm very serious. I got in this habit as a kid because I had no place where I could concentrate and study, so I'd go in the bathroom.
That didn't work out too good in my house.
Of course, the bathroom was outside.
He still does that.
I know it. That's what I just said.
So it uses the bathroom outside, or okay.
I do that on occasion. Yes,
I do, right off the porch.
Yeah.
Over in the trailer hood.
Anyway, but I really do want to thank all of you. Those are some really good insights on what you think our kids should be taught. We don't think about that a lot. So this turned out to be a really good topic today, which you guys stepped up again.
And there's not one idea out of all the comments we read, in my opinion, that would fail to make the world a better place to be.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm,
Very well
I'm sincere in saying that. I mean, it just like the majority of everybody said, it all starts at home. You know, it's all in your upbringing. It's not in your genes. It's in the way you're taught.
Yeah.
When you're coming up. So.
Yeah. Wow. Some good points, folks. Thank you very, very much. You brought up things that I've been thinking for a long time, but never said nothing.
Yeah.
Because my kids are grown, they're college educated, and they're good kids.
Yeah.
So you don't think of it that much when your kids turns out pretty good, you know?
Well, and you're instrumental in that. You and Karen both. I mean, you raised them right, you know, or they wouldn't be worth a B-damn.
All
right
the
now.
parents, yeah.
That's right.
Well, let's take a look at some of the viewer comments we got in.
Let's
We've had some good feedback on some of our past shows. Douglas Bowman said on YouTube that he's calling for an all-out boycott of American sports. We look to pro sports to escape the madness, something to get absorbed in for enjoyment. But pro sports has gone political to the point I refuse to watch. You are all overpaid, spoiled brats who make millions of dollars and have no room to bitch. Pro sports looks more like a minstrel show. So dance like nobody's watching, because soon no one will watch.
That's a fact.
Then you will have to get real jobs, but I'm unaware of any cities needing garbage men.
The lines are long out there.
Douglas, boom!
The lines are long, Doug.
I love it. I do love it.
Oh, Russ Curlin up in Wyoming area got a message
good.
for me. He said, "Howdy, cuz. Trying to stay up on all the shows, but it is tough sometimes. Keep it up. Love it. Love to you, Pard. Well, love to you too, Cousin Russell. Miss you, Bubba."
Now he lives where?
He was raised in Cheyenne, Wyoming. He's somewhere in Wyoming, is all I know.
Wow,
Knowing
beautiful state up there.
Knowing him, he's probably up in the mountains, well loaded.
Thanks for watching out in Wyoming.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
We appreciate you, Bubba. We'll get together and talk via telephone. here pretty soon.
Absolutely. Paul White commented on the show about voting this year. He said, "This is perhaps the most important election Americans will face.
Yeah.
Absolutely no one who loves America and liberty needs to stay home.
Absolutely.
Make plans now to have someone drive you to the polling place, and I pray you will be voting Republican."
Bet I will be.
One of your viewers said it best: vote Republican if you want to be free, or Democrat if you want to be a Marxist or a fascist.
By God.
He's putting it bluntly.
Well, you count on me voting Republican.
Yep.
Hunter Quimby reacted to watching pro sports this year by saying, "I don't care what's going on in the world, which is why this is America. We all have rights and freedoms of speech, and nothing will take away my sports." He's a big sports enthusiast.
Yes, he is, just like I am. But I tell you, Hunter, I love you, brother. But I tell you what, the Jazz and the Jazz and the Nets, I think, kick off the new basketball season on Thursday night, and they have all agreed and voted on that during the national anthem and kneel. And then we had two WNBA teams the other night that all walked off the court during the playing of the national anthem.
See, that's bullshit. That's what that is.
If
That's disrespectful to the flag.
If you want me to back what you're wanting us to back, then you need to start taking a look from our side too. You're really pissing us off.
Well, actually, he don't give a damn. He just wants to watch the game.
Yeah.
Which I can understand. I love sports too, but you start interjecting drama and politics into everything.
Yep.
It just kind of takes all the thrill out of it. For me, anyway.
I understand. Darlene Mason commented via Twitter on our show about quelling the riots. She said the president just needs to send in the federal officers and put a stop to it before they cause more damage. In my opinion, enough is enough.
Well, it's more than enough right now, so I don't know what he's doing in Texas. He's supposed to be pulling into Midland one day this week.
The president?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
You go down there and straighten out some rednecks. I don't know what he's doing.
Or recruit them.
Yeah. Probably building a militia.
Hey.
And we was talking this morning, you're well aware of what happened in Weatherford the other day.
Yeah.
When Antifa and BLM showed up, they got escorted out. And I watched a video of Cleburne.
Texas.
Cleburne, Texas, yeah.
Yeah.
And, man, they had, same deal. Antifa's supposed to show up and straighten them out and all this crap. And I bet you there was over 3,000 people in Town Square. All of them armed, even the kids. I don't know if they had rubber band or pop guns or whatever, but everybody was armed. They said, "Yeah, come on down here and tell us you don't support the police officers and you'd like to bust a wind out or something."
Yep.
So
it could have got ugly. It could have got
if
ugly.
They show up, I guarantee you that.
They'll never find the bodies, I guarantee you. Anyway, if you would like to send us a subject for one of our programs, or as always, send us your opinions and your views on things. Very simple to do. Just send it to our email address at grandpa-and-pappy@gmail.com.
Yeah. Or if that don't toot your little whistle, go directly to our webpage where you've got little tag buttons and you can do all that too at www.grandpa and the letter N Pappy, grandpa-and-pappy.com.
And if you see that little red button right there,
I see it.
Push it. They'll ask you for a password, and it'll subscribe you right to Grandpa and Pappy.
Sure will.
And right quickly before we close up, I just wanted to draw attention to Grandpa's shirt.
Represent.
We have our logo on the back.
We do.
But be familiar with these T-shirts. We're going to have a little fun with them in the near future.
Got some coming in that are more of a black and white type situation. I mean, we're show hosts. We have to be fancy.
Be special. Yeah.
We make them.
Coming up on Friday, Pappy, our subject should be a little interesting, too. Should Antifa and Black Lives Matter bank accounts be seized to pay for damages they've caused to America?
Good. And did you notice how many comments we've already had on that? But
Getting quite a few in.
But we sure would like a lot more. So
we sure would.
Let us hear your thoughts and opinions about it.
We appreciate your time today. We thank you so much.
We do.
We enjoy bringing this program to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yep.
Your opinions are the top with us.
They matter.
Yeah.
And by God, we are listening. We read everything. We hear your voice. That's what the show. That's the premises of the show. So
we hope you'll join us on Friday. And in the meantime, as we always tell you, hug your children. Let them know how much you love them.
Let them know how much we love them too.
Stay safe. Try to be protect yourself in this crazy world going on right now.
Take care of one another.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we love you guys.
So until then, Pappy and I say, so long.
Adios.
Bye-bye.